this Chinese multinational automotive manufacturing company called?
Geely.
Geely. So it sells passenger cars under Geely, Volvo, and the London taxi brand. Am I supposed to have seen a Geely?
There are Geelys around. You do see them here in South Africa. So remember, it's a company that comes from Hangzhou, which is like the fourth biggest city in China. It started out making little Geelys, and then in 2010 they bought Volvo of Sweden. So everybody knows Volvo.
Market cap, $8.2 billion.
I must just point out, they're one of these annoying Chinese conglomerates that has lots of business in China, and then for some reason there's a portion of the business which is listed in Hong Kong, which is what you're talking
The
about.
$8.2 billion market cap. PE here, 19.7, dividend yield of 0.5%. Have you seen the Geelys?
I haven't seen the Geelys, but I've seen Volvos.
Yeah, no, we've all seen Volvos.
So we've seen Volvos.
In fact, the new Volvo 4x4
A Geely is one of those little cars that look like a sort of little Tupperware car.
Tiny
you know, it's got
little-
like
tiny
large
little
lights
thing on
at
the
the
road.
front.
Like
If
a
you
little
drive in it,
Smartie.
it's
It's like a Smartie.
When they first came out, they had terrible safety ratings. It's like if you hit something in that, it
I
would
have
just
seen those little
squash
cars, so that's
like
a Geely.
concertina.
But also, I mean, their market is also predominantly the Chinese market. So, I mean, that's why we're not seeing them drive around so much in South Africa. But, yeah, definitely an interesting company. I mean, it actually did start out as a refrigerator manufacturing company, so selling low-cost refrigerators into China, and then eventually, you know, went motorbikes, and then finally into the auto space as well. But, I mean, it's ramped up. It's the second biggest producer in China. It's the only producer that isn't owned partly by the Chinese government. So it's an interesting story. And I mean, they're producing about 700,000 units.
700,000 units.
You're talking okay. So it's 7 times bigger than Tesla. Let's just say that.
And is that's just what they produce themselves.
Per year. So on an annual
Volvo
basis.
continues to operate in Sweden with its XC90s and XC60s and all the rest of it.
Let's have a look at the share price graph, and again, just explaining the complication.
Yeah, so I'm not even really sure as I sit here what is in the Hong Kong subsidiary, other than that perhaps it's the thing that they route some of their foreign sales through, because the company itself, run by this guy called Li Shufu, which is one of the sort of iconic entrepreneurs in China, because as Gary said, he didn't have a lot of state support. This wasn't sort of, you know, a converted Chinese Communist Party owned bicycle factory.
This is a real private sector play.
He went the hard route. He's long been accused of ripping off Toyota's designs.
The share price, just look at the share price graph. Look at the
something's going on at the end there.
Steep rally.
Yes.
In recent times.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, in spite of being quite obscure, it's actually a fairly well-covered stock as well. So you've got 27 institutional analysts on it, and I mean, their sort of average forward PE is sitting at around 10. So they're seeing huge earnings growth coming out of the company in the next couple of years. I mean, if I look at it, you're looking at earnings per share growth of about 34% into next year. So I mean.
I like the fact that they're producing 700,000 vehicles on an annual basis. I mean, that for me is a better option than Tesla with its PE of infinity.
And remember Volvo. Look, Volvo is one of the sort of global mark brands, Sweden's proudest,
safest car on the road.
It never really made very much money. Ford owned it for a while, and then in 2010, Geely bought it. Why did Geely buy it? Not because they necessarily, I think they're doing a certain limited amount of production in China and sending parts across, but it's more for the design expertise. Remember these driverless cars that Uber is piloting in Pittsburgh in the United States are XC90s. Those cars are tremendous.
Hot or not on Geely?
Yeah, I think the name actually means in Mandarin lucky. So I'm going to go hot, but again, I think it requires a little bit more research as well, just as what's in there.
But this one you would put money into.
We haven't put money in yet because Paul sort of sent it to us. This is the first time we've ever seen it. And I mean, I was looking at the ownership as well. I mean, it's owned by it's Proper Glory Incorporated owns 30%.
So I'd like to understand. I don't know what this thing in Hong Kong is.
What Paul alluded to earlier. It's complicated.
And I mean, if you have a look at if you look at just the media buzz around it, I mean, it's their new X6 SUV. It seems to be taking off as well. So I think there's a lot of hype around the company at the moment. Like I said, a good institutional covering as well. So
S6 SUV in Volvo.
That's actually
in the Geely.
Yeah, in a Geely. Yeah,
a small little
X6. Yeah, I don't know. It's you see, this is the thing.
Small little SUV.
For me, the newer Geelys are actually better. They've got a new thing which is called the Gleagle. I kid you not. And they come up with these weird Chinese names. And then there's another one called the M Grand. EMGRA.
But I mean, the legal can take more than one person. That's what I'm trying to establish.
Okay, hot or not?
Hot or not?
I'm going to go hot because of the institutional covering. But we actually haven't put client money in, and I think just around the corporate structure, I'd like to understand it a little bit better before we do. But on the face of it,
if it ticks the boxes, you're going to go.
I would say
Paul,
it's fine.
hot or not?
A lucky bet.
Look, Hong Kong is a good place to buy Chinese stocks because that's where they're well regulated and the liquidity is good. But I'm going to go not hot because I haven't been able to figure out what's in Hangzhou and what's in Hong Kong.
And
like
we know
where
you
the
opt
money
for
gets made
infinity potential Tesla. So we know where your loyalties lie here.